Hello everyone. In this video I would like to continue the previous video where I started implementing caching, but then I thought maybe I can just make it more beautiful. So instead of just using some placeholders or regular HTML rough entities, I can use a more beautiful design. I took this from FrontendMentor website. It's just a regular design of a page with job postings. It's perfect for our use case. Here I again used my Laravel endpoint on the hosting to actually send data of job listings, and that is pretty straightforward. I just created job listings with all these columns: title, company name, logo, URL, etc., etc. Then I created another migration for those tags. So I created many-to-many relationships so that I can in the future sort them based on tag, because as you can see here there is this functionality. I used the seeder to see the database. There are placeholder logos, and in my controller I check if request has any tag names supplied. If not, I simply return all the job postings with tags from the database and convert it to JSON. Otherwise, I make a DB query where it searches only the job listings that have tag with a particular name. We'll check it later. For now, it's just gonna render all the job postings at first. Anyway, so we have our real API. Then here I created HTML, like basic scaffolding, HTML file, JavaScript file. Then I got this background image, reset styles, and to make it, to strip away all the default browser styles. Here I also went ahead and wrote out all the colors that I will be using in this project. I took them from here, so to make it faster. And now I'll start with this basic HTML. Let's say postings, and here we use the main tag. Main tag we'll call, let's not be very original, main. Then what do I need first? First I need basic styling, which is background image and background color. As we can see, it doesn't really change. I'll start with the mobile version, so I'll go to CSS. By habit that I always have, I just put HTML body overflow x clip. Could be hidden, prefer clip. It's more modern and doesn't allow to have weird over scrolling. Anyway, on the body I'll put first background color. We got it here, and let me check. This one. Update color updated. You can see it because it's too light, but if I do this and then update the page, it still doesn't work. What a shame. That's weird. Why it doesn't work? For some reason it doesn't work. I know it doesn't work. Why it doesn't work? It doesn't work because I didn't import it here. So we can do link. First we import reset. Oh, come on, they must be here. It just doesn't know it yet. And then we import, not this one. Oh no. Okay, I think there should be this one. Styles. Oh, I know it doesn't. Why I didn't like that, because it should be an assets, and then I do styles, and here we basically do the same. Boom, here you go, and then we got this horrible red color, but that's okay because I can just delete it, and here we go. Okay, the color is here. Next, let's put background image, and that's gonna be our amazing background. Then background repeat, make no repeat, otherwise it's gonna repeat, obviously. So yeah, we got this basic thing here. Let's check the padding, and well, I'm planning to actually put this plaque or panel here in the future, so I kind of have to keep it in mind. I think I'm gonna put this element in the DOM so it takes space and it respects padding and stuff, but for when there are no options, it's just gonna be maybe hidden. Maybe I'm gonna set its opacity to 0 and set pointer events to none, something like that. But in any case, let's see the mobile view. We check the distance from top to bottom, and that's about 120. Let's see. So not gonna be very original. I'll take the main wrapper, and oh yeah, by the way, that's also my favorite stuff. Minimum height 100, viewport height, so that it actually takes all the space. And here I'm gonna put, it's gonna be our main wrapper, so I think I'm just gonna put all the padding in here, padding in line. I think that's should be 24. I like to put it in RAM, which is about 1.5 RAM, and padding block. Well, I don't know about block. What's the other side? They're about the same. Yeah, so 120. And they're not actually the same. Okay, fine. For now, I just set up. That's okay. 120. This is in RAM. How much it is in RAM? Divide by 60. I'm not so smart to do it myself, so I just do this. 7.5. Perfect. Okay, 7.5 RAM. Так, okay. So we got this thing here. Let's put on the DOM something. That would be our plaque here. Panel. Yeah, fair enough. I think it kind of works. Okay. I'll leave it like this for now, except that I wanna give it the class name of panel, filter panel, filter panel. I can get away with really bad CSS names. I usually use Tailwind, to be honest, so I don't have to bother with this, but for a small project it's better to use CSS. So I'll give it BG. Oh, not BG, background. Yeah, I told you, use Tailwind. Background color white. Now let's give it some padding. 5 pixels, something like that. Boom, here we go. And at the same time, we set opacity to 0, because, you know, I don't want it to bother. Or should we? You know, let's keep it like this for now. That's okay. Okay, and of course we need shadow, box shadow, I think, something like that. Let's hope it works. Oh, that's the other one. My utility class that I prepared. Boom, we got the amazing shadow. Perfect. So next we'll use that's an interesting choice. So they put this thing here. That's That's interesting. So they put this thing here. How would they implement it? Usually when I do that, I would use either position relative or position absolute. Position relative allows it to stay in the same place no matter what. But if I use absolute position, in this case I would have to respect this distance between those. I would have to respect the distance between those elements. Okay, let me see. Basically the size is 48, 24. You know what, I think I'm gonna make it simple and just really use position absolute. Why not? I mean, it's kind of straightforward to do that case. So in this case it's gonna be 24 plus 40, and in this case I'm just gonna set that margin bottom to 64. It's 4M, right? Another advantage of using ramps is that you really improve your math, but it's not actually the main reason why I use it. It's because people who set their browsers to increase all the elements are gonna increase. There are certain situations where you don't want to use ramps, but they're like most of the elements I style with RAM. It's more I forgot the word, more usable, more user-friendly, more adaptable, whatever. Okay, so yeah, that's our styling. Wasn't too hard. I mean, it wasn't too long. Next, we need to make a card, and for now, I'm just gonna use basic. Well, let's be a little bit semantic and use actual list item. So in this case, I use what? Card grid. Wow, so straightforward. And I put it display grid, and then I use gap of, let's see, 24 plus 24 is 48, 48 is 16, 30, that's 3 RAM. Okay, for now I put it this way, so we got some space between the cards. What I'm planning to do now, I want to make this card as an HTML element in the future. Later I'm gonna convert it into template after all the elements are styled, and then I'm gonna use this template in my JavaScript to reuse, to update the DOM when the user fetches the items, the cards from the server. But for that I need some dummy data. I'm just gonna win it. And also what is more convenient is that I'm gonna apply only one class to the parent of the card, and then the rest of that is gonna be styled based on CSS cascading, so that when I update the DOM with JavaScript, I just have to put only one class and the rest is just gonna fall in place. And while I'm here, I forgot the font. To be honest, I like this font. The system UI, it looks pretty, but it's not what is used in the design file, and well, it's not gonna look the same if we don't use the same font. So it's gonna go ahead and use this link to find Google Fonts. Boom. Where is it? Here, the expression. Well, it doesn't look like a font that I need. Leak. Whatever. Okay, so I want to get this font, but I'm kind of lazy to download it and, you know, do all this stuff. That's fine. I'm just gonna do this thing. For production, I don't recommend it though. Honestly, for production, just take your fonts, download them, convert it to WFF2, this modern format, then put it in the head of your HTML file, preload them, set the right rules, you know, that's so much better, so much faster and optimized. Yeah. So here we go to our body and we put font family Expression, and let's check this out, and that's beautiful, I hope. I mean, it kind of looks pretty, to be honest. Okay, fonts are done. Then we get what? I already forgot the class of the card, so that's job listing. No kidding. Okay, job listing, and let's see what we've got here. We've got here some cards. Okay, so skip the logo first. Got this. Skip the featured also because some of them are featured. For now, just let's do simple stuff. Just do some basic styling, and then we can add later. So the padding got 16. It's not actually 16. It's a little bit more than 1621. Usually doesn't have to be like pixel perfect, except for some rare cases. But you know, let's make sure. Okay, so we got those items. I guess there's another list between those, and then we got this heading here. Let's check the distance between. So since I use that the absolute position, since I decided to go with this option, I want to put enough padding between the top and the heading, the header of the card. So in this case it's 38. Let's put some padding in line 24, 22. Let's make it 125 RAM. That's okay. Then 14 padding bottom. It's 1 RAM, maybe 5, something like that. 38, 30, 24. Huh. What is that? 34. It's about 2 RAM. 2 point padding top. 25 RAM. That's okay. Composition we set relative because we're gonna put the absolute position logo inside isolate, so it doesn't affect. Actually, it does affect, so I don't put this one here. CSS nesting works already, but I wanna, make sure that it works. So I just not gonna nest it in this case. Would nest it in SAS though. Okay, let's put some dummy data. Let's put some dummy data in there. We put a header. It's gonna be header. I think it's not gonna be header. It's gonna be. So we don't have any H2 here, H1 here, and I think it would be a mistake to put H2 because they don't have H1. We're gonna skip that. We're gonna skip that head. We're gonna skip that heading. We can do that. In this case, I'll just do a simple option and use title. That's gonna be our header, and then lower below that. So we need to account for these two tags that will appear. I think you're gonna use the same container, put the flex on it, and they're gonna appear only in the cases where the card is featured. In this case, they have new featured. I'm not gonna bother with this. I'm just gonna put new featured on all the cards. But it would be implemented. It would be very easy to implement if we needed. Okay, and then we got the title, and we just put it like this. Position name. Then we put order list. that's a little challenge. We can use it like in different ways. We can use it as a list. Oh, they made a typo here. Lol. We can use it as a list of items, but put only a disk on left. So let's use an ordered list inside a list. Yes, exactly. Class, we give it what? We give it info card. Let's do it card info, why not? After all, in ideally we could actually use BAM cards. For example, if we get really fancy, I would put cards, and then we do like card, and then we would use BAM like this, card info, and then we would use all this kind of stuff in here. But the problem with this is that they would require me to set a lot of extra JavaScript classes when I reset the cards. So instead I could actually take advantage of using class selection. So I just take a card and then I would apply styles based on this deep nested selection. And let's say 2 weeks ago, I'll just duplicate that, I don't care. Below that we could use it as a border, but we could use it also as HR element. Let's try HR first. It's fine. And then we got this container, which are what? Another URL. And then we would use a lot of those buttons. It's gonna be a button. Always put a button if it's clickable for accessibility and other perks, like when you tab, it actually tabs when the element is button. Browser will do all the job for you that you would have to implement yourself in JavaScript. So you know what I'm thinking now? I think it would be too complicated to actually use nested selector, so I'm just gonna go ahead and use BAM. Okay, that's gonna be cards title, I guess, and that's gonna be what? Cards. Let's do data. Now here we can use CSS selector, HR, and then I'm gonna use cards. What? Cards, buttons, card tags. Come on, card tags. And then that's gonna be a tag. And then here we're gonna style it. I apologize for the noise. They're repairing something upstairs, and there's nothing I can do about this, fortunately. Tag. Let's try backend. And let's see at this ugly thing. Oh yeah, that's so ugly. And also I noticed that my reset doesn't work. That's so funny. Okay, let's see why. Got button. Because I didn't apply everything. Okay. Background color, I can do transparent, but that's fine. Oops. That's so weird. Well, I guess I'm just gonna style it later, but I'm pretty sure that it was applied, just for some reason it's not applicable. Maybe I grabbed the wrong list. I think I grabbed the wrong list. Okay. let's see. So what do we need to style? First of all, we need to take all these tags that we got here. I don't want to jump back and forth, though I could, but what's the point? If I could just do this. Tag, we got what? Card. What tag? Cards. And then we got card header. And then we got tag card title. That is why I like Tailwind. It saves me so much time. It's not suitable in every situation though, but when it is, that's a big time saver. Data card tags. Gonna start with this card. Well, oops. We just remove this one, and that one we need to select. We're just gonna select it. So let's see. Well, style's definitely changed. Let's try to put background color white here. Fair enough. They have borders. They have very, very tiny rounded corners, so border radius, I think it's border radius. Let's do 25 even 1. Okay. It's not noticeable, but that's good enough. Shadow. Well, not definitely not sizing. Just steal it from here. Okay, then what? Need to do styling. Here we got this to 14 pixels. Color bold 700. That's a pretty boring part. You can skip it if you want to. Just, well, I just have to code it out. So card header, title. You will definitely need to account in the future that they're gonna be these tags like that new featured and stuff. So we just put span in here. Here we put title and give it card. What is this? Cards company. Not very original, but clear enough. Font size 0. It's not 75. It's about 85. Color. Well, it's definitely not counter reset. Variable color primary. This one? Oh yeah, this one, right. Here we put flex. So line item center. Cap of maybe 25 for now. We'll adjust it later. No, it looks already better. Is it too small? I think it's fine. Just have to give it also weight 700. Yeah, it's okay. It's 14, I remember. Yeah, 14 here. So just put some header margin bottom. 0. $85. Here's also about 14. Oops. 16. No, there's nothing fancy also. Title. Data is about, it's almost the same except that the color is black. I think it's 000. And font weight is the same. Font, I mean, I can leave it 1 rem, that's okay. I need to adjust. And body and margin bottom about the same. That's the most boring part of any website development. Writing CSS. Yeah, but at the same time, sometimes it's pretty complex. Sometimes it's pretty complex, especially when there are elements that are not standard. Standard elements. Let's see. Class card data. Card data is kind of boring. Okay, this is not the best class name, honestly, but that's fine. I'm not trying to win an award here for but the best class name, and even if there was this award, I think I would be the last person who could win it. Okay, so we got this pattern there, and then we need style list item, and list style we do like disk, and then that should actually work. But the problem is that it applies to every element. Also, we need to put more space between them. Let's address the problems one by one. First, we need to put gap, then we need to change color, and well, I mean, I'm just gonna do both. And 25 rem, then color. I prefer to apply color to the parent if possible, so that I can change it later altogether, especially when there are conditional classes when I write React code or something like that. Text light, okay. Well, that's definitely not the right one. I think this one. That's so bad. Oh, I think it should be muted. And while we're here, we want to apply to the element that is not the first. Okay. Somebody definitely have to teach me CSS. First. First child. Okay. Okay, we got this thing, right? That okay. Let's try first child. Interesting. Okay, that doesn't select anything. Oh, actually it does. It's just my ID doesn't know that. So what we can do is just do this nice little thing. Boom. That works. Sometimes I'm smarter than my ID, you know. Okay. So I have font size, font weight. That's 500, I think. What is the? Oh yeah, got to put some margin bottom. Okay. 1 rem. I mean, that's kind of what we need. Okay, so next, this C# thing perfect. I don't even need to change it. That's perfect. That's okay. I'll leave it like that. But what else we need is card tags. Yeah, this list. So I'm not gonna bother too much, and I'm just gonna put one rem in here, and then we need to style the button, and just to make it, you know, a little more realistic. Oh my god, this looks so so bad. Okay, go to here. First we need to put flag. You could definitely tell that I'm using Tailwind most of the time, right? Okay, put it to center to align them. 8. 0.5 rem. And tag we put PG. Background color variable. I think this light. I'll go with this. Text is centered in the middle. Okay, let me try it. By default, it's centered already in the button. But let's see where it gets us. Oh, wow! Are you calling it light? Are you serious? Okay, that's so bad, like it doesn't even... Did it import the right color? I think they just put opacity on this color, simply. No, they used the same color that they just applied. Wow, okay. Who would know? To me it's too light, to be honest. Oops. Yeah, CSS is like PHP doesn't like when there is no semicolon. Well, that's definitely wider. It's about 700. Yeah, 700, right? Okay. So we got 16 here, 16 here. This is just standards. Well, since it's one rem, anyway, I can do padding block 0.5m. Then later, if I change the, you know, font size, padding will also adjust automatically. And let's look at this. I mean, yeah, that's kind of fine, but yeah, this is what's missing. Actually, I also need hover state, but it's fine for now. So yeah, and let's do the image. Put the image on top, and where it's gonna put it? So it's gonna be absolute positioned image. We put a figure without any legend or stuff. It's just a logo. I like to always put an image inside the wrapper because I can just put I can adjust the image size based using the wrapper so it doesn't overflow. In some situations when you try to adjust the image size by applying styles directly on the image, it gets clunky, it gets ugly. So the most reliable way I found was that I put a wrapper around the image, and figure is more or less semantic element to put around the image. So I put card logo, and I put card logo. I don't have an image to test it, so I think I'm just gonna go ahead and find it somewhere in my system. Oh yeah, I got a few files here. Perfect. Okay, I just take I don't know, these guys, then I go to job listings. Oh, exited with an error. So sad. But it's okay. Oh, that's not the right one. Oh, okay. I got some files processed from yesterday that I forgot to remove. So go back and then I go to assets and then I do my bash script that I really like, and boom, we get the image. I like bash. Okay, so here I just try to put assets and we put this SVG. And here for alt we're gonna put company logo, but to be honest, ideally we would need, you needed to match the logo, and if logo was really meaningful, I would probably make sure that my API endpoint sends alt text for each image, and I do not like to put some random text in an image in an image alt. But if there is a situation like that when I'm like, it's not really meaningful and this is just a pet project, I just put area hidden true. We do have to have an alt on every image, even if it's empty. But when area hidden is true, it's just not gonna focus on the on this element, and it's not gonna cause any problems for screen reader, so it's gonna pretend that it doesn't exist. I'll do it this way. It's not like the perfect solution, but for a pet project that's fine. So cards logo, and then we put position absolute, and for card logo image we just do basic stuff, object fit contain, because it's a, well, it's a logo. Object position center with 100%. Yeah, that's not PHP. And height is this, and then we try to access it, and I mean it looks so ugly, right? But it renders. So we got size here 48. What I can do here, I do with 3 RAM height, 3 RAM, then I put up 0 left, should match our padding in line. No, not this padding in line, the other padding in line. So that should be padding in line 125 RAM. You know what we're gonna do? Let's create CSS variable, because we're gonna use it in multiple places. And then we use it here, padding in line, and then we just go to this image and we use the same variable here. And now let's check that, let's make sure that it works. It actually does, yeah. I just need to align it. And now if I change that value here in the future, it's gonna also update this value, so they update together. Very handy. So translate, I think it's transform, translate y minus 100%. Should work. Minus 50%, 100. Oh yeah, that's exactly what we needed, I guess. Yeah, that's That's what we needed. Yeah, I think that's fine. We got it. While we're here, let's check what the hover state they give us on the button. Design, prototype we don't need. Hover state we got here. Oops. Interesting. Oh. Okay. Okay, buttons is fine. This logo, when does it? When I hover over the card, I guess. Yeah, I guess when I hover over the card, it just gets. Okay, let's start with the. I mean, that's so weird. Why would you need to have hover on the title? Like, what does it signify? You know, I'm not gonna do this thing. I'm just gonna go ahead and put it on buttons, because for me that's so confusing when something changes when you hover over something, but it doesn't really do anything. Like, what's the point? I think the user should know that when you hover over it, it's gonna mean something. Maybe they expect you're gonna click on that, but you can't. You can click only on those buttons. So I'll put transition. Color. Oh, then we got a big problem because I forgot how to use transitions in CSS. Okay, I'll do my best to remember. I use tailwind transitions most of the time. So let's set default ease, which it's already default. You don't have to set it. Duration and okay, let's try it. That's actually wrong because it's not really wrong. I think it should be something like that. I'm pretty sure this is the wrong syntax, but I'm gonna check it later. Whatever. Okay. So, and then here I think it was focus. I think it's this one. Yeah. Ground color variable. I'll check this, and then text color white. It's not really hover though. Oh, okay. I guess that's working. And also, since I already put the style, I just need to remove outline none. Yeah, because the default outline, it looks so ugly, right? And since we're here, just put it on hover as well. Boom. Here we go. It's a little bit too snappy, right? Yeah, because I put a transition. Okay, I'm sorry, I gotta Google that. Transition syntax. Share margin right. Okay, what if I want to specify multiple? Ah, I see. Okay. So I just put this thing here, and then I select it, and then I put it like this, and then I remove the color, and that should somehow, oops, that should somehow work. Oh yeah, and it does. Nice. I mean, that's not conspicuous enough, unconspicuous enough. What we miss is the little borders. Rounded. Oh, rounded, huh? Not rounded. Border radius 125. Oops. Okay. Yeah, that's perfect. It's just perfect. Amazing. Titles looks a little bit small. Yeah, let's set it. Let's set it to 9. That's fine. That's fine. That's good enough. That's good enough. But what we see here is that on a big screen it actually gets big. So this part will actually will turn into these two separate parts. So basically what we need is that we need to separate the tags from the rest of the content. And in this case, ideally, I would actually put it all inside the div, and then I would make a media query that would simply turn the card data, the parent component, into not card data actually, the card itself. It would turn it into flex, and I can do media screen, and now goes the hard part. I used Tailwind too much, I forgot how to use media queries. Let's hope it works. Let's hope my memory doesn't let me down. So it actually switches at this point. I think we could put a breakpoint at about 1000 pixels, something like that. We can check it. Then we do card display flex, and obviously align items center. And another thing is that, we need to consider is that we put it on the bottom. To be honest, I don't like, that's one of the things I don't like about CSS, because I have to put it on the bottom. Because later I want to change that, and then I have to find this thing. Before I used SAS and all the other preprocessors and Tailwind, I always struggled with vanilla CSS because of this reason. Because it's recommended to use as few media queries as possible to not to degrade performance, but at the same time it's so hard to maintain. Like you gotta use like search all the time when you do that. That's so annoying. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and put it next to it so it's easier to change later. And we got it here. Oh, look at this, amazing. I mean, it's kind of nice. I'll have to change a lot of the stuff, for the screen, but for now let's not bother about this, okay? Because I'm just gonna, my goal is to implement caching. That's the main part, not to make a perfect design for all desktops and stuff. I think I can do it off screen later for the desktop, but I want to do one thing, which is max width 1400 pixels and margin in line auto. So it's just gonna squish it all into the same size. It's gonna limit its size. Wow, that's so bad. I'll have to fix it later. Okay. Okay, so we got this card template, right? And we can reproduce it. Basic functionality is that I simply put content in there, and then the card just renders. It's gonna be our list. Also styled link backend. Now what we need to do is to connect it to the API. need to connect it to the API to render all the cards. For that we will need JavaScript, but first let's put it inside HTML as a template. We're gonna change it to, we're actually gonna do another thing. Just gonna put template here and give it an ID. Oh no, our template. Very original. And then we need to try to get the content, the real content of the data. So first, in order for our JavaScript to work, we kind of need to connect JavaScript. I mean, obviously, put script JavaScript. We make it defer, so we don't have to put like the wrong HTML, the DOM content loaded event on the HTML. It's just I don't like that. Easier to just do this thing. Okay, put it here. This is my endpoint. I just wrote it for myself so that I don't have to check it many times. And let's do some prep. But first, I don't wanna keep things organized more or less. I don't want to keep things organized. So ideally, I would actually put it inside a class that I would call job listing handler, for example, and then I would define everything inside of this class, and then I would use it. I would initialize this, and then I would have a lot of reusable methods that I would simply use. Yeah. So let's try something. First, let's define the container. We call UL, let's say, or list of no document query selector, not all, and then we do cards. So yeah, that should select this element and keep it here. My word of advice: if you use it in production, I mean, why would you use? I mean, if you still have a use case of vanilla JavaScript in production, which I would suggest to use TypeScript instead. But if you still use JavaScript, you gotta have a check there that to make sure that, you know, if list not equals to null, you throw an error and stuff. So that would be a reliable method. Maybe even not here. Maybe you would validate it only in other place on initialization. I'm not gonna do it here, but my advice is, if you use it production and stuff, just make this check. It will save you a lot of time along the way. Anyway, okay, so we got the cards, and let's just check it to make sure that it works. This list inner HTML, or no, hello world. I already have hello world. It works like this, and then we put constant handler, no new job listing handler, and then we do handler init. Let's see. Wow, it doesn't work. It doesn't work for some reason. Couldn't find. Oh, yeah. I know why I couldn't find it. That's why you need TypeScript. That works. That's why you need TypeScript. I like TypeScript. Honestly, I like TypeScript. Okay, so we can define the rest of the elements. This list. Let's template. Oh, that's an ID. So I think this card template. Yeah. And then, so what do we need? We need to recreate each card. First, we need to make API call, right? We need to make an API call. After that, we need to process the data. Then we need to render a message, show the message that is loading while it's loading, and then if it's an error, we need to handle the error, show some message to the user, and only after the data is loaded successfully, we got the data, then we need to iterate over this data and use this template to create cards one by one and list them. So in order to do that, we need to separate the concerns into several ones, and I'll create the first method that I call render card. This card will receive card data. Card data. I will use it inside my method. Card data I'll have here. It's like this one, and again, if I had TypeScript, I would have it in my IDE, but well, using vanilla JavaScript for this project. We get all these fields. We don't need all of them though, but we need most of them. So card data, get this. So what we need to do is that first of all we need to create new card. Take this template, then we clone it. After we clone it, we need to, the styles are already applied, by the way. This is very cool. So we got the title, we got the company name, we got all this kind of stuff. So let me see, it's a little bit confusing. First we need to put the, let's start with the logo. Okay, new card, query selector, match, source, I don't know, card data, logo, URL, something like that. Yeah, logo URL, correct. Then I go what card company, then company name, and then we do title is company position name, the position name, employment type, company name, that's a title. Yeah, except that, is it a title? Oh yeah, it's called title. It's just title, yeah, it's okay. And then we go here, card company, card header, position name. Then we need to render those lists. We need to empty the card data, and then we need to render the tags. Let's start with the card data first. Oh, you see, I already got the typo here in our text. That's why sometimes copy pasting is dangerous. You have to check what you're copying. This one we need to get, what is this? Card data here. First we need to clear the HTML to remove all the previous tags that were there. Then we need to to create constants. Так. Let's write for loop, shall we? So why would you have to do the same thing? I also goes a button inside it, huh? Okay. Okay. Let's do tag wrapper in this case. Then we do tag itself, document, create element. Now here we need to put text inside it. So instead of using for loop, I can just use each loop, and I do. Let's do text of, then create an array of values which are what we get: data tat, on the go, part-time, remote, employment time, and I see. It's not so simple because we need to iterate over each tag there, I understand. So let's try to render first tag for now. No, wait, that's not it. I think I'm doing something wrong. Yeah, completely forgot. These are not tags. This is card data, and actually the list element, that's exactly what we need. It says data item. It's gonna be data item. You see, I got a mistake. So instead, I actually need to append data item in here. You see, I got confused with this. First we need to put when it was updated, then we put location type, and then employment type. I think it goes here, employment type. So basically what I need is that I iterate over this card data employment type, and card data location type, I think, right, and then card data updated at it's gonna give me a very long string that is not really readable. So for now, I forgot that function that actually shortens the text. I need to look it up. Convert date. I think that's not the right one. Date formatter. Oh, this one. Yeah. Format date, return new integer option. I'm not sure though, we have to check, because maybe it's gonna be the wrong one. So I just put this helper in here for now. Oh, this is TypeScript version. I like TypeScript, you know. Okay. Oops. Oh, really? Okay. So we just format this date here. Yeah, I would use it as a module, but first we'll make sure that it actually works. And then I iterate over this item, inner text, not inner HTML, inner text, and then we just put the text. Probably not the best, but we'll see. We'll see if it works. Okay. Next we need to make an API call. I'm sorry, give me a few seconds. I want to drink some tea. Get some call. Okay, next we need to make a fetch request to the endpoint. So fetch card data. Why not, right? We're gonna do it in the init function first to make sure that it actually works. So we'll need to fetch data. What I'm gonna do try catch block. Handle catch right away. Error object, and then we just do console error. Error fetching cards, and put error. Put error here. It's enough. Then we need to make a fetch request. So fetch. You see the get request by default, and by the way, we got this URL, so I can uncomment it and just use it as a constant, and use it obviously as a string. Well, that's the wrong one, like this. And then you fetch it like URL. Don't need to specify any options for now, but later we'll have to. It's actually a response, and then if response is not okay, then we throw new error. Error fetching cards, and then we put response. I think it's status or something like that. I'll just have to rely on my memory because I don't remember. And then we get what? Constant data. And by the way, it's an async function. It's an async method. So wait. Oh, right. Okay. Wait. JSON. This one, and then what do? We need to create a helper that would use this data. Populate. Let's call it populate list. It's actually, this is card data. This is, let's call it cards. Not the best name though. We're also gonna call it card data, but we're gonna use it to iterate over all cards because it's an array of cards. This render, oh no, populate list data, and then here I iterate over each card, and for each, well, super smart move, except that I need to, it's gonna be an array of data, so card, I call it a card, and we simply just this render cards. That should do the trick, but first we need to remember to reset the list in HTML to 0, because you know, otherwise they're gonna duplicate. So yeah, that thing should actually work. And basically when I make a fetch call, in case of success, that should work, and it doesn't for some reason, because I got an error. Card data has been already declared. Fair enough. Card data data item. Okay, let's try to rename that to something else. Say, let's just say data for now, not this. Oops. Okay, let's see all card data matches. Oh, I see why. Right. Wait, why would you need that? Oh, that's okay. You see, that's the problem. That's the problem, that I reused the same method. Token export and script.js. Where would it export? Right. Data for each is not a function. Oh, you see, it's so important to handle the error, because, well, we can get the errors. Let's see what we get here. So for each is not a function. Okay, you see why? Because we don't get the array, we get the cards. Setting source, setting properties of null. What does it mean? It means that we don't get any image. Query selector image. Why is that? Source null card logo. Well, maybe we can try card logo class name. Get still the same. Okay. Well, I don't get any auto completion here, so let's check the documentation. HTML image element tag source okay, so get this thing here. Let's see, let's console log new card. Document fragment, because I didn't access the fragment correctly. Oh, I see the problem. The problem is that I actually I don't correct the I don't use the template correctly. Clone node. If we just use clone, I'm not sure. It's not a function. Okay. Okay, let's see. No template tag. Okay. Ah, I see. I haven't used it too often, that's why I really didn't know. Okay, so I get the import content. So I need to get the content basically. I need to get the content of the clone, which is here. Okay. Get element by ID. So we got it already. It's our template. So there's gonna be template. This. Oops. This template. Get this. New card. Clone content. That's gonna be new card. Tag. Item template content true. Of null, and that's kind of the same. So weird. Okay, let's try to log it up. Console log it. Still document fragment. Oh, I see. It's a document fragment, but you need to get this content new card. Because you append the new card, I append the new card to that, so I append the content. What if I try to do query selector? Setting source. So weird. Okay. Surprisingly, that should actually work. Content some gadget. Okay. Let me see. Okay, so what we're doing here, let's see. We try to select something here and it doesn't work. Why? Because probably the problem is that I trying to select something in the wrong way. Okay. Actually not, I think I am selecting it correctly. So weird. So I get that thing. Okay, let's see. Let's try to see it here. Let's put it into a variable. Let's do it v, for example. And then we comment out this line for now, and then we just try to print v. That's a no, so it doesn't select anything. It means that I select the wrong element. Let's try to see it here. Okay, it does select the right element, surprisingly. Okay. What does it mean? Okay, then it means that I'm selecting elements in the wrong way. Right. Text card title. This one is the wrong selector. And value, that's what I thought, by the way. So, okay, comment it out for now. Okay. Guess it should work now. But it doesn't display anything. Doesn't display anything because I appended the wrong. Right, I forgot to append the child to the DOM, and that's so bad, like, and it's not even styled. Does it have a style? Wow. Well, I'm definitely doing something wrong here. Oh, I think I know the problem. Okay, so I got the new card, and then I need to append data to this card. No. Check this out. Okay, so I need to append. I append data item to this. Then to the new card I append the data, and then here I need to append the new card. Wow, congratulations, right? I mean, come on, That's such an achievement. I managed to debug it, so surprise. Okay, what's the problem here? Problem here that it doesn't point to the right location. Job listings. Oh, I know why. Because I didn't set the correct API. Give me a sec. Okay. It's actually PHP 8.3. Okay, let's check it out. Well, that didn't help. I don't know. I think I specified maybe the wrong path. Let's check it in the browser. Oops. Yeah, that's not exactly what I expected. Job listings. Okay. Okay, I guess I'll have to debug it later, because that's a mystery to me. For some reason it doesn't work. Okay, I'm gonna take a break and then I'll continue, because I already got very deep into errors that I got. Okay, I'll be back. Okay. I spent a few hours debugging, finding the reason, and I found it. There were actually multiple reasons. First, I forgot to link my storage with the I forgot to link the public folder with the public storage folder, and then also I didn't create a symlink on my hosting because I created it on locally, but I forgot to create it there. And the main reason was the env file. In the env file, the base URL had a tiny typo, but for some reason the text data was fetched somehow with the wrong URL, but actually it was not, because the URL was correct, but the link, the URL path to the image was not correct because of one letter, and I had to spot it, spend some time. Also, I rewrote the controller, made it more concise, and also I decided to use Carbon for converting the date into human readable format to make it look like 6 months ago, very pretty. That's handier instead of trying to figure it out with the JS library and stuff. So yeah, and here also I modified a lot of things. First, I made a lot of mistakes here. I checked again how to properly fetch use the template element. I haven't used it too often, so I really didn't know, I didn't remember. So this is the proper syntax. Also, I made a big mistake with this function, the sync function, because it didn't load. And the problem is when I call a sync function, I always have to await it, and then basically, I had to put the tags here. I had to put the keywords await and async on the init method. And what else? I got a lot of other problems here. I made a very big mistake with here with this, because I modified the data, the meta. I renamed all the variables so that they look prettier. So this meta is the reference to the data inside the element for this one. It refers to it. When I modify it here, it modifies that original data, and I don't actually have to copy it and then append it again, because that modifies it. And all I needed was to just append child to the same reference, to the element that is referenced by that reference, and that just works. And yeah, as you can see, I renamed everything because I really like clear naming, but I'm very bad at coming up with this at the spot. I usually use AI to help me get good names. I usually check different options, and these names just feel much clearer. I don't know, when I write, make a project, I always want to have pretty looking names, concise, clear methods, relatively readable and clean code as much as I can. This just makes me feel just happier to work on this project. Anyway, yeah, so at this point, where am I? Oh, wait a second, I think I forgot to reset. Sorry about that. Forgot to reset the page, so I just do it real quick. Yeah, here, forgot to close that page. So now we're getting that loading state, and the problem here that I can address right away is that we don't actually show any indication to the loading state. So the user doesn't really know that it's loading. So what I can do now is to show them that the page is loaded. And the way I can do it is by setting listening to the event when it starts loading. Actually, I can put it inside the load jobs method. I can create another method, update loading state, for example, and here I do is loading, and then I do if is loading, then I take this container inner HTML equals 0, like equals empty string, and then I put inner text, or I can just put an inner text. I think it's okay. It's loading. Otherwise I would have to clear it, but in reality I don't actually have to create a separate method for that. You can just do this thing, and then here I start loading. So I show this update loading state true is loading, and in the end I can use the finally clause so to do like false. Let me see. Well, it doesn't really work, does it? Okay, let me see why. There must be some reason for that. Okay. Date is loading true. So I call load jobs. I should update the state. Could be a few reasons. One could be that my CSS is not correct. So let me try to put a tag in there. It still doesn't work for some reason. Let's throttle network speed to see network. Let's say, oops, disable, invent, no throttle, and right here. Let's do very slow. Loads, and there is nothing in here. It does show. It does show, it just doesn't, it just disappears at the wrong moment. That's why. So what I could do, I think I'm calling it at the wrong state, right? Could call it after I finished rendering. For example, if I call it here, let me try that. And yeah. Still loads too fast. Oh, but now we get an error. Actually, we don't get an error because, yeah, we don't get an error. It's just container is not loading. You see, that's why. So basically, I don't even need to put a state in there, right? I don't even need to put it in here because it updates automatically. It does it above. So what I can actually do, instead of is loading, I can do message, choose a string. I can remove this, and here I can replace those with interpolation and put the message in there, message, and then here I do loading, but if I get an error, instead of putting it here, I do error message like this, loading, and you see it updates. We got the loading state. Let's say I got the wrong API, failed to fetch, and that's an error message. Or even better, because that's, it could go to the console instead. Here, instead of this, I can write here failed. It's okay. An error occurred. Let's do it this way. And here we put loading. It's not perfect, but it's good enough for a simple prototype, because ideally I would create something like a separate state. I would do retry or something like that, but in this case that's a very simple option. It should be good enough for us. Okay, so we got the cards, now we fetch it. Now our task is to implement cache. How to implement it? So in the previous video I used in memory cache, but the problem with this was that whenever a user updates a page, it's just not stored. And ideally, it shouldn't be the case. Ideally, the cache should be stored, should survive rendering the page or reloading the page. For that case, I tried to come up with a solution, and my idea was to use session storage. So what I could do, I could actually try to implement caching the same way as I did before, but using session storage instead. For that end, what we need to do, we need to create a method for checking if the session storage has a key. If it exists, it should retrieve it and use it. Otherwise, it should make a request. So let's create a method called cache. It's not a good method. Is it a good method? Check cache. Check cache. Use cache. You can do cache. Use cache would be for a hook. So, and here we can put time or duration, which would be, let's say, 5000 milliseconds, 5 seconds default. Then I'm gonna check the key if it exists. So what is gonna be? Can get key. Ideally it would be key here. Let's put a key, that's a string. If let's try to retrieve it. Constant data or cards, or maybe stored. Call session storage get item key. Okay. Check has item key. If stored isn't equal to null, then so get key. If storage now doesn't equal to null, then we use it. Return stored. Okay, so what we're gonna do? Actually gonna return. Let me check. I forgot how to use session storage. Session storage methods. Set item, get item. Session storage, get item, JSON parse, remove item, session storage clear. Okay, I see. Okay, get item, remove item, set item. Okay, so yeah, I think I was correct. I check if session storage has that key. If it equals to null, return false. Otherwise, return true. Ideally, so that function actually, that method checks the cache. If it's there, you just return right away. Otherwise, right, check cache. Let's do check cache key. Okay. and then if this check cache, key у нас будет, let's do jobs, then return session storage item jobs. This, and then just returns it. Ideally, I could just check it online without creating a method. So let's make it a constant variable session key on jobs. And instead of doing this, you just do it this way. Basically the same get item session key. I'm sorry, I just spent a lot of time debugging. My head doesn't really work too well now. Okay, session key. Remove this, and basically we did it in line instead of this. Get key not equals to null. Okay, and then and then we need to reset to check if cache is there. So after we fetch the jobs, we need to set timeout, and we need to put this in cache. And when I check this, I also need to make sure that the timeout, that the delay is not exceeded. And if it's exceeded, I need to clear the cache and return false. Right. So in this case, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take this thing again, put it in here, if stored name not equals to null. Okay. Replace it with key. Here, stored equals to null, return false. Store not equals to null, return true. Otherwise, return false. But here we also need to check if it expired. And the duration is, let's set duration here, constant storage duration. Let's make 5 seconds. And the object that we store should actually have another field, which is the time elapsed. So we need to get that item and compare it to the current time. And in this case, that's exactly what we need. Duration equals 5000, let's say, and then so we got the jobs, and the jobs should have a field that it should be an object with the jobs array, and there should be timestamp. Let's do timestamp. So we know that it has timestamp if we check it here. If stored timestamp let's do it a different way. Math abc stored timestamp minus new date condition is more or equals to duration. Then we need to clear the cache. Store session storage, remove item key, return false, like this. And then yeah, that's it. Check the cache. So that's where it gets useful. Session key. If it returns false, if it returns true, you just get that and you return right away. You don't need anything. But if you're not, if you need, that's a problem, because check this out. You render the jobs, you don't need to return it. You need to render jobs, you need to assign it to variable jobs, and then you return right here. You return right here. I can even put this, sorry, I can even put this block here for simplicity, and you do early return. And here, after you parse that, you render those jobs, but also you need to store it. So I can create another method for that, store cache, and then you do jobs and also duration. Duration is actually should be the same. Yeah, no, don't need duration here, sorry. Okay, so I need to create an object constant. Object maybe data. Let's do data, whatever. We do jobs equals jobs, or just leave it like this, and timestamp we do date new date, and then we put it, first of all we need to take it from here, and then we need to stringify it. Key. I think it should be this way. Sessions. Okay, then you do this. Store cache. jobs. And here when we retrieve it, we need to JSON string parse it, because when you store it in a storage, you need to parse it. JSON, let's see, near occurred. No wonder. Session storage. Session storage is not defined. That's like the first time I see that. Oh, Ilya, you're just genius. You're just genius, honestly. Okay. Here we go. And then we get the same error. It's not valid JSON because I didn't set it. What was the key? The key was the jobs, the unified data session key, which is jobs. It's not valid JSON. So it means that when I set the item, it's just not valid JSON. Let's see. Set item field value. Something I'm doing wrong. Let's output the data console log data. So much fun debugging, you know. Sometimes you create even a very simple app and then, well, you get that this one. Sources, not sources. Oh, I'm used to Google Chrome to Chrome. Okay, I found this. Let's clear it. Delete. Loading, source, company name, title. Wow, that's a big object. That's a pretty big object, to be honest. So I got jobs right here. It is parsed. So what's the matter? Defined is not valid JSON. It means that it actually stringifies it correctly. The question is why it doesn't work. This case. I could store them separately, but I'm just curious what am I doing wrong here. Because you parse jobs. Oh, I know why. I think I know the reason. The reason is that I do it wrong here and it works. Magic, like magic. So, and let's wait a little for 5 seconds. Wow. There's no loading going on, so I guess. Oh, my caps is on. Okay. Why it doesn't load correctly? Because when I retrieve it, if it's not null, you need to parse it first, right? So I can do it this way. Pretty sure that's not the perfect way to do this, but it should work. Let's see. Let's see. Storage, sources, application, delete. Let's try it again. For some reason it just doesn't. That's interesting. For some reason it doesn't show it up correctly. Let's see what's going on. Jobs, timestamp is stored in the file, that's why. So parse it here, new date, and maybe I should actually put it this way. I think it would be easier if I actually use create a second field. Oh, I fixed it. Ba-bam! I like it. Okay, so this is how caching works. Persistent caching. As you can see, I update the page. Every time I update it, it doesn't matter, it still loads. I mean, it stores the cache and it loads again, and I can replace like 5,000 here, for example, with duration. Oh, session storage duration, I think that's yes. So and then I can replace it, set it to, I don't know, 2 seconds, and then it's gonna work the same way. Boom, boom. Now it loads. Boom. Perfect, right? That's pretty cool. So yeah, that's the kind of functionality I was talking about that works. That's been already a very long video, and I made so many mistakes that probably it's enough to make people laugh. But for me, that's just part of my job. When I work, I always have to make a lot of mistakes, like check documents and stuff. I could try to implement a couple more things, to be honest. Let's see what I've got here. Well, I'm definitely not gonna do the screen. I'm definitely not gonna do the screen. What I could do, I could actually create buttons here for the filtering logic. I think this video has been already very long, so I think it's maybe enough. I really like that, huh? Sometimes when something just works, it's just so nice, especially after you debug for a very long time. So what should I say? Is it enough, or maybe I do another one? Let me think. Okay, let me just do it real quick. Just some basic version. I think it should be okay. Another optimization that would be to actually, instead of updating UI directly like I'm doing now, so every time when I add a new container, when I render a job, you see this one, I actually create I repaint the screen, and if I render like 30 different jobs, I repaint screen 30 different times. That's a lot of overhead, honestly. So what I could actually do, I'm doing it here actually. Yeah, this container, add this job to cart, jobs for each. So when I add the job, I append it to a container, and that's too bad. Like, you know, there's too many jobs. What I could do instead, I could actually do a fragment. Let me try it. I haven't used fragments too often. I'm gonna embarrass myself again, but I'll try. So let's do fragment document create HTML and element. Oh, embarrass myself again. Okay, JavaScript fragment create document fragment, right? I always forget that method. Document fragment. Okay. Document fragment. Element div content fragment append child. Append child, and then I can append child to that. So and here I pass fragment right here, and then instead of appending it to this container, I just I just do fragment. Okay, and then after this I actually delete the inner HTML. I got the fragment by the reference, and then I do this container inner HTML equals fragment. Oh, I forgot the fragment API. Fragments in HTML? I don't know. Let me try. I think it's not gonna work though. Undefined, exactly. Okay, I just log it out. I don't remember the methods. Console. Oh. Document fragment. Let me try something. What if I do content? Yes. Still undefined, huh? Okay. Clone template, clone node. Yeah, that's a problem. Define. No. Let me see, huh? So fragment children. Okay, let's try to do fragment children. Oops. Fair enough. Tag, HTML collection, first element. Band, prepend, place. I'm curious, does it actually work on that document? Replace children. Place children. Check, let me check. Place children. Okay, and maybe I do it this way. Oh yeah. Why is that? Defined. Yeah, that's a problem. I've never used it before, so collection prepend append. So before but that's not really working. Maybe I need to clone it. Never occurred. I don't know. Yeah, well, that's why it's important to know fundamentals. I guess I don't know them too much sometimes. Forward node, query selector, rename node, place. Wow, so many pop-ups. Okay. Wow! Yahoo! Stack Overflow! Thank you! I mean, this method is way more efficient because it doesn't repaint screen many times. It repaints the screen only one time when you append the fragment. It feels so good when I can find an answer to a problem. Yeah, that's just more efficient. The most efficient way, of course, is to use React, but I mean, it's not the most efficient way. I'm joking, but I usually use React. It's just easier. But on the other hand, I don't feel this kind of magic when I work with JavaScript. This kind of magic. So okay, I can try to put buttons in here, and then it would be feel okay. I'll just do it. Whatever. So we need filter panel. We need filter panel here. I give it the ID filters, and that panel should include these buttons. How it's gonna work? It's gonna just put the buttons in there, and then when it's full, it has at least a few. At least one element it's gonna enter. It's gonna show. First, let's style at least one button. Well, I'm just gonna take it from here, and it's not actually a button, because in reality that's gonna be UL with a lot of list items. So I guess I just put it in here, and here I really want to put some filter UI, some tailwind classes, filter list. Just put filter list. Don't bother with this. Okay. Backend filter list, and we can put hey, what are you doing? I get styles here. Let's put it at the bottom. Filter list. That's gonna be display flags. Align items center. Gap. What's gonna be up? It's gonna be one RAM. And actually we can put the filters. Where is it? Filter panels right here. Okay, put it here. White padding. Padding is to have bigger here, which is about 20, and here it's about 24. Padding in line. It's gonna be 24. So it's gonna 1.5 RAM. And padding block. Oh, it's not gonna work now. Block, it's gonna be just add 2. That's okay. And then we're just gonna shamelessly steal the styles. Oh wait, this is styles. Except that there is no, it's not a button, so I'm just gonna steal only those styles without cursor pointer. We don't need to confuse the user, right? And I made a big mistake again because I'm tired, I guess. So I just put it right here. Okay. And it still doesn't work. Huh. Filter list, it's a class. Then we get this. And color padding block. I'm actually sure that it works. It doesn't seem. That's interesting. Okay, let's see. Filter list, filter list. Did you save this file? Oh, I see. It was cached, huh? And Nginx was guilty in here. Actually, it is a button, but button is not gonna be exactly here. Button is gonna be in here. On it's gonna be a part of the element, you know. So like this, and I put I think it's times or something. Let me see. I forgot. Should be times. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Why? Oh. Button. Gonna be PG count. Color. I think it should be this way. Yeah, but it shouldn't be so bad. White, and then font size we do 2 RAM, let's say, and then aspect ratio 1:1, and then we do. Let's see. I think it should be flex also, right? It's because of the size, right? That's why. Yeah, that's a problem. Maybe it should be display flex. Right, but not really. Okay, so the problem here is that display is not flex. And then I do align item center, and then I do gap 0.25 RAM. And then let's make it a block, but I think we'll have to redo it to flex, right? Because that font takes everything, you see? It takes like a lot of space right here. I can't open it because the let's try hero icons. Or why do I need hero icons when I can just copy it from here? Yeah, like this. just copy that bad boy here, and then instead of times, wow, amazing. And my editor doesn't want to parse HTML for some reason. And I even know the reason. The reason is that, yep, exactly. Now we're talking. And instead of this, I do what? Just take this from here, sizes. Okay. RAM. I just play it to flex to center it. Line item center. Justify content center. And we do what? I can use padding, or I can just put padding. It's gonna be easier. Padding 0.25 RAM. Yeah, something like that. Gap you can do like this, and then I just take transition from here. Where is it? Oh, that was a mistake. So all I need to do is just to make it black. Or actually, color. This one. Oh, the last one was unnecessary. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. The word is a little bit above because of the Spartan font family. That's why. But other than that, that's totally fine. Okay, so I'm also gonna use it as a template, obviously, because well, I'm not gonna recreate a CG every time. Put it inside this ID, I guess. Use ID. Yeah, I think so. Button template. So what I'm planning to do is just to populate it each time when the user clicks the button, and then they're gonna be I'm gonna create another button here to clear. So my plan is to actually create an array to track the number of that was the wrong one, to track the number of filters that are selected. So I'm planning to create that. Users presses on one of those filters, gets selected. Actually, I also need to set up the rendering of these filters. I forgot to do it inside the cards. After it happens, the user the filter gets applied, the request is sent, and then the array with filter names is passed as a parameter. My backend will read that, and then I will get the items based on that. And also I will have to update the cache, because if that parameter, any of those parameter changes, then, well, I will need to recalculate the cache and send another one, because otherwise it's gonna show the stale cache and it's not gonna work. So my first idea is to set the clear button, and it's gonna be here. Clear, and it's gonna be super simple. I put an ID on that clear button. And I'm gonna style it auto font weight 700. I think it's okay like that. Oh my goodness. 5. Cursor pointer, display block height. And then when I hover over it, font size 75. Actually, I will leave over outline for the ease of use. And then I just steal it from here. Here we go. Okay. Not perfect, but that's fine. I think that will do, right? Maybe I'll do like this. It's okay. It's okay. So let's get it here. This clear button. Oh no. Okay. Clear button. Then we do what? Tag, I think this one. Filters. Filters. Right. And that's what it's gonna be. Let me see. Filter list. Should be filter list. Filter list. Okay. This is filter container. Filters. Right, we're gonna populate filter list using that, just easier. So, and one more thing. Filter panel filters, which is like kind of the same, but whatever. Transition, opacity, 0.3. In out. Okay, got some transition. So let's make a modifier. Yeah, like this. Opacity 0, pointer events, none. And then we do hidden. by BAM convention. So first, when it's there, it has the hidden class, filter panel hidden. We'll put it this way. Boom, it's not there, right? So what we want to do when a user presses one of the buttons, this applied filters equals empty array, because it's, well, that's empty. Okay, every time when a user clicks a button, we actually check if filters are applied, and then we refetch the jobs based on that. So first of all, let's make our panels display the real tags. We go to render a job card, and the thing that I forgot is exactly this part, card tags, right? So got this one, the class. What we need to create a tag, we need to iterate over the job tags that I get, job tags for each tag, then each tag just a string with the name to make sure we can check it right here, right? These are the tags. So that's basically a tag name. Can make it more explicit. And then we create an element, the name tag, document, create element, li, tag, class list, add, well, you don't need to create, no, it's not this, that's gonna be a wrapper. Let's do this, then I do this, that's gonna be button, then class list add card, card tag, height, tag inner text equals tag name, and then live and child tag, tags and child li, straightforward. And in the end I get what I need. Boom. Okay, that's definitely not what I expected. So first of all, I wanna clear the okay. First of all, I need to clear tags in HTML equals nothing. That's the first thing, which is fine, but then I get some objects. Why would I get an object? Because I submit the wrong data type, tag name. Yeah, that's the, because I iterate over tags, but that should be tag names. That's why. tag names, because the key should be different. That should be the key. Okay, now we're talking, right? So we got the string. Next, we need to handle an event on click. And honestly, instead of, I could actually set an event listener every time when the user clicks the tag, but I mean, that's a lot of work, you know, and that's a lot of event listeners. That's not very efficient. Instead, I can just use event delegation on the container. So what I can do, I can create another function, another method. Let's say set click launch, or let's do set click events. And then we need to remember how to use event delegation, which I a little bit forgot. Delegation. Okay, let's see. Parent and event listener type event. Okay, target event. That's not exactly what we need to target. Event target, no, delegation. That's the only one I got. Okay, event target. So you get an event, put the event listener, type event, and then you put event target. Okay, let's see. This container, let's try something out, shall we? Yeah, the event listener. Then we do click. Let me clarify. I really forgot. Let's see an example. Apparently start event listener click. Function event, I see. Okay, I'm just gonna copy it here as a reference. Hope they don't mind. Tag, I remove this one, I remove this one. Okay, event, this, tag name equals. Okay, what if we actually use card tag, target class name, class list, and I do class list has card tag. Let's see. Let's check if it actually works. I get some console log that I don't really want. Okay, next one. Oh, I think that should do it. Okay, I think it doesn't work. Okay, let's see. Has card tag list. Name. How do they have this in example tag name? That name, I see. But it's not the most reliable way. then target I guess should be here. And target property. Oops. Target. Okay, let's see what we can actually do. We can actually do this. If I really don't know what's the... Wow. Seriously? I'm genius. I'm sorry. I'm just so... Yeah, I used an event and I didn't set it up. Amazing! Okay, so I just output it, right? Okay, what if I try to do... Oops. Oh, I guess that's... Okay, that doesn't work. I guess it doesn't work. I'm pretty sure that's one though. Thank you, Google. Thank you, Google. Okay, so when it happens, what I need to do, I need to create a logic that puts that inside container. So we need I need the handler. I need the handler that takes that text and checks if it already has the item, and if it doesn't have, well, that just puts it in there. Oh, and I just got an idea. Why do we need to use an array? We can use set, which doesn't give any more performance in that case, but you know, because the input is very small, but it allows us to have uniqueness. So yeah, so let's do handle click, but maybe not handle click, maybe add item, or add filter, better. Filter name, filter. So we just do this, filters, add filter, boom. That's that simple. But that's not all, because while this is all cool, should be this add filter. Put this bad boy in here. In this case it works because that's the same content, but that's fine. Anyway, so I click, it's gonna put it in there, but it's just useless because it's not gonna be displayed on UI. So we need the logic that would actually output that filter inside. So that should check, I add a filter, and then first of all, if it's empty, then it's gonna have at least one. So I need to put take filters, the element this filters class list, remove card filters. That's why I made my life so much harder. Okay, so I put this class here, but ideally I would put it here like this, and then it would be so much easier to just remove it. And then you see, I mean, right. Oh, we got a specificity issue. Or not. Oh, I see the problem here. Now it should work. Yeah, boom. Not boom? Why not boom? It's not a function. Got some error again. Why not? Oh, that's because it's inside the function, right? Of course. So to be a very good boy, we need to use an error function. Okay. This is... Oh, right. That's applied filters. That's why we need TypeScript. They always need TypeScript. Okay. Dandy, right? And then we do clear filters, you know, just, you know, clear filters. Very straightforward. We just do this applied filters, clear. Super simple. That's why I chose set for that. And then we just set up an event listener. So set click events, this container, just we put another one, this clear button, event listener, click, you just these clear filters. Very simple. But we're not using React, so we have to also handle visibility. In this case, boom, magic, right? Kind of. Okay, so what else? We need to remove filter when we add it, when we click the button here, but first we need to populate the panel, not the panel, we need to populate the panel, I can say that. So I click, you add a filter, you add it to applied filters, and then we need the rendering logic, which requires a lot of pain and suffering again. Luckily we can just steal it from here, like this, exactly, yes, like this, don't be surprised. Add filter button, then we do text, I don't know. I think it's text. It's okay. So what we need to do, we need to take this button template, create, add inside the span the text, and then we just put it inside of here. So what we do, card template, then we do button template, which was wrong because I forgot the name of this one. Oh no, I like the short version. Okay, button template. Hope that's correct. Card template, button template. You can see how much room is there for human error. Imagine I accidentally misspell something, and that's it. And there is no TypeScript to correct you. If it was TypeScript, it would just tell you, no, that's wrong. But there's no TypeScript in here, right? That's why when it comes to very big projects, JavaScript, vanilla JavaScript, it's so hard. I have made a few projects with vanilla JavaScript by jQuery, but that was real pain to debug sometimes. So we're just gonna make copy, okay? So button, this button template, then we select what do we select? Select span, and we do a new text, and we do what text, and we do, that's what we need to do actually. Yeah, so we need to add it to the fragment. The rest is okay. Boom, here we go. Yeah, that should be good. And look, I don't even need to add an event listener because I used event delegation, you know. It's so cool. Render jobs, render buttons. What can I say? Buttons, right? Buttons. Also, fragment, create document fragment, job cards for each. Then we do what? I already forgot. What is it? Buttons, right? I could have used substitution. Start. This add filter button, fragment, container, and then we do this filter in HTML, right? Where is it? Filters, filter list. This filter list. I didn't put filter list. So sad. Filter. Here. Okay, this filter list. Thank God I have at least auto completion here. Pen child. Right? Then I just do what? Add filter, clear filters. Filter this render buttons, this filters, applied filters actually. Pretty sure I get something wrong, but let's see. What is the matter? My server is low. Got an error, of course. Card is not defined. Card. What is this? Of course, copy paste. It's called. Boom. Watch and learn. You know. I mean, come on, man. I'm so good, right? Oh, yeah. Well, no, nobody's perfect. Where is that? Here, flex. Where's flex? Flex. filter list, gap, flex. Oh, this one. Oh no, wait, not here. This one. Flex up. Up. Boom. Nice. I mean, that's just nice. I mean, not perfect, but that's okay. Filter panel could also be actually flex, but let's leave it like that. You know, I don't really want to bother. I mean, the filters work, okay? So now we get what? They're unique. They're amazing. I mean, that's already so dandy, right? What else do you need? Just add one thing, huh? Okay, just when I click the filter, it should... Right. Let's see. Button template. Let's do class remove filter. Button filter. Button. Button. Right. So, and then we can do another event delegation. When it happens, then it filter, and we do text content and remove filter, which I didn't create obviously. So just do it now. Right. And then if this filters, no, applied filters, size push equals 0, you just and return. Boom, this one, and then we know this is more than one, so you just render everything again, and then we can actually remove those like this. Oh my goodness, it doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Because that's the wrong event. That should not be a container, that should be another one. So boom, and that should be what? Filter panel, filters. Let's try this one. Filters, filter list, filter list. I think that should be filter list actually. Filter list. Nope. Not this one. Not this one. This one works, but this one doesn't work. Okay. Where's the catch? Filter list, filter list. That's actually weird because that should actually work. Filter list, class filter list. Huh? That's unbelievable. Because it worked before. Did it render the list? No. If I were debugging tool, console log. Yeah, that works. That's the right. It's not a function at job board. Applied field filter. Okay. Oh, really? So that's what delete, I guess. I guess somebody forgot the API reference, huh? Oh. Okay, what's the matter? Oh, I see, that's the matter. Okay, you see, this text content, that's wrong, because I actually need to take previous sibling. Aha. I know next sibling, but JavaScript. Previous sibling? Okay. Let me try. Previous sibling. Text content. Okay. Nope. Nope. Oops. That's nothing. Huh. Parent. Okay. Gotcha. Isn't it not magic? Just tell me, isn't it not magic? Come on. It's just amazing. I like JavaScript. Okay, so, and the last thing is to send an API request to the server, but I think at this point I need to go very soon. Yeah, I don't have too much time. Basically, I need to put the send a request to the server, refresh all the components, or refresh all the cards again, and yeah. But anyway, the project is almost finished. Caching works, you know, it's so nice. You see, that's exactly was my idea. We got this beautiful project. I hope it was not too boring, at least to see how I'm working. But that's part of my daily work that I do. I'm not gonna edit out like my errors, my debugging and stuff, because I think that should be like more or less real. And I think every developer who works, they face challenges. I mean, probably they don't make. Probably more senior developers don't forget methods and stuff, and probably they also forget. I'm pretty sure it's hard to remember everything. But anyway, that was the video. Thank you for your time. If you watched at least a few minutes of this, I appreciate that. And have a nice day. I'll finish this project off the screen. But yeah, thank you. See ya.